club has altered massively. I mean, when I came here, it was an old, dusty, decaying ground. It was under abacus, it was in a lot of debt. The football was poor, and really you couldn't see it going anywhere. And obviously there was a brave new dawn when Keith Haslam took it over and paid his pound, and we thought brighter times ahead, but instead it went all the other way. But now, obviously the optimism is massive, the ground looks great, the ideas are great from the people that run the place, there's money going into it, and the talk of maybe being a championship club one day would have seemed daft back in those days when I started here, but now it seems a very realistic possibility. Best moment covering the Stags would be getting promotion from the conference. I've been here for promotions from this division up into the other one. Always great to get a promotion, always a good season, but the sense of despair, dropping out the Football League, going down into the conference where clubs find it very, very hard to get back out again. You've only got the one opportunity to get automatic promotion, and then you've got to go through playoffs. It's a really, really hard league to get out of. There's a lot of ambitious clubs with money below you coming in from the lower non-league areas, and suddenly you find yourselves really up against it. And so after a short time in the conference, you really do start to question, will you ever get back into the Football League? And incredibly, we had that season where Paul Cox managed to pull the rabbit out the hat, and certainly at Hereford it was a great feeling, but final whistle here against Wrexham back in the Football League was a great moment. Worst moment going back the other way would be the relegation to the conference. Relegations between the divisions in the Football League don't seem as bad, but to drop out of the Football League for the first time and end up down in the conference there, it was an awful feeling. We knew it was all but signed and sealed at the Rotherham game here, and obviously it's well documented what happened after that game. Dreadful day, dreadful week. It was confirmed in midweek with results elsewhere, and all of a sudden my working life changed, and the football changed for a lot of people in the town. Best scoop was probably the day that I was pinned to the door outside the director's box by former chairman Keith Haslam, who'd had a pint or two, and told me that I wasn't welcome at the ground anymore because I'd been reporting on the fans protesting against him, which was legitimate reporting. So we went with that week on the front page. Chairman tries to gag the Chad, and lo and behold, about a week later, obviously when he was sober as well, he decided it had never happened and denied it had happened. So that was a really good scoop for us. I enjoyed that one. Funniest moment, I guess the joke was probably on me and my colleague Simon Mapletoft, who used to do the Chad and was doing the post at the time. We were both down at Bournemouth on an away trip, and during the drinks after the evening meal with the players, some of the players managed to persuade the people on the desk to give them the keys to our rooms, and basically our rooms were completely trashed. It was hilarious, but it was also quite painful because I lost quite a lot that day. I couldn't untie the shirts from each sleeve was tied really tightly. Ties had been cut in half, boxer shorts cut in half, crisps put in the bed, battery stolen from Walkman, toothpaste sprayed all over the bathroom mirror with the words "Red Rum." They'd done a right good number on us there, and we just had to hold our hands up. We never actually found out who it was, but we had our suspicions. Billy McEwen, when he first came in back in the conference days, was very, very difficult. He was a very abrupt Scotsman and always spoke his mind, so had one or two incidents with him. Andy King, he was quite difficult to deal with sometimes after games because we had to stand outside his office and wait for him to come out to talk to us. Occasionally he would peer out of his office and see us standing there, and an hour after the final whistle he'd suddenly appear, putting his jacket on and saying, what do you want, lads? I'm on my way home. You're keeping me here now, aren't you? And then all of a sudden you'd ask him a question, he'd be there for the next hour telling you the answer. So that was a little bit tricky to deal with, but he was a good lad overall generally. It was fun. I guess the best thing about the job is being involved in football on a day-to-day basis. I say football and music are my two passions in life, and I was never good enough to be a professional footballer, so this is the second best thing to do. I enjoy writing. I enjoyed writing at school, and it gives you the opportunity to live a football season with a professional club on a day-to-day basis, write about it, meet people, and it's a great way to spend your career. I always say if you want to get into journalism these days, you can't just be a good writer. You've got to be a confident person with social media. You've got to have a variety of skills, and it's very, very difficult that more redundancies are being made rather than jobs taken on these days. So I think be very, very keen on doing stuff for nothing in the early days. Offer to go out and do match reports at local park games, at non-league games. Get your name out there. Make sure that people see that you can write and that you're keen on the subject, you know what you're talking about. And I think ultimately, if you're persistent enough, when vacancies do become available, you're the sort of person that they would go to. Third.